Hello again my friends, so welcome to my first ever video where I just ramble about Destiny. I'm going to talk about all the interesting little tidbits of news that I've picked up over the past few days and also try to answer all those frequently asked questions that you guys have for me and generally just have a little chat, just you and I, about Destiny. After all, I know that we're all pretty desperate for the beta by now and I'm hoping that this will help pass the time. So sit back, brew yourself a cup of tea and let's have a nice relaxing ramble about Destiny. So first up, I simply have to mention the amazing thing that Activision CEO Bobby Kotick said about Destiny. He proclaimed that Destiny will be the next billion-dollar franchise for the company and that he expects it to be the best-selling video game in history. Let me just repeat that last bit. The best-selling video game in chuffing history. Now that's a pretty bold statement. Personally, I think Destiny definitely has the potential to become one of the greatest video game franchises of all time. But why do I think this? Well, maybe it's because we've just entered a new era of gaming where technology can truly match the vision, scale and scope of ambitious and talented teams like Bungie. Maybe it's because Bungie has been working on this game for over 6 years with a staggering staff of 500 people, all of whom are seriously gifted, passionate and dedicated to the craft of making games. Maybe it's because Destiny has been built with groundbreaking tech, built to last a decade and beyond and backed by a publisher with an impressive track record. And maybe it's because I'm a die-hard Bungie fan. All I know for sure is that I haven't been this excited about a game since Combat Evolved, and we all know how that played out. But is Activision CEO setting himself up for a fall when he says that he expects Destiny to be the best-selling video game in history, or is this a realistic expectation? I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, so sound off in the comments section below. Now, I also wanted to talk a little bit more about my time with DJ and Newark in London last week. I was lucky enough to be invited to meet them for a drink and a chat. I briefly talked about this in my latest video on my main channel, but I thought I'd go into a little more detail here. After all, it's not every day that Bungie invites you out for a drink. So, at one point during the night, Deej turns to me with a cheeky little twinkle in his eye and says, "So, ask me anything you want about Destiny." As you can imagine, I was pretty excited, so I was like, "Deej, tell me what happens in Destiny 2, and Deej says, "Stuff." Basically, Deej trolled me big style, and I have to admit it was pretty hilarious. Sadly, no new Destiny details were divulged that night, and you can be sure that Bungie will tease us right up until the launch of the game. It was also cool to see Urk wearing a Warlock t-shirt, so I guess we know which Guardian he'll be rocking come the beta. Now, let's move on to the questions you guys asked me. By far the most frequently asked questions I get are the following. Question 1. Do we have a beta launch date yet? Sadly, not yet my friends, but when it's revealed you'll certainly know about it. Now, I've had a few people link me to this rather dubious looking site that says the beta is launching on April 1st, which we all know is April Fool's Day. Now, if you ask me, I call bullshit, but if you want to see for yourself, I've left a link in the description box below. Question 2. Will there be a limited edition of the game? Well, we still have no official word from Bungie on this, but Deej was directly asked this very question the last time he came to London by my friend Fraser, who runs Destination, and Deej responded with probably, which if you ask me is a pretty encouraging response. If you want my personal opinion, I think we're definitely going to see a limited edition of the game. After all, if there's one game that's crying out for a limited edition, it's Destiny. Personally, I love a replica Hunter's Knife or a statue of the Traveller. I'd also like to hear what you guys want in a limited edition version of the game, so leave a comment below and let me know. And you never know, Bungie may even pop in and check what you guys have to say. Question 3. Will there be split screen? Now, I get asked this question all the time, and the simple answer is Bungie has given nothing away about this, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Question 4. What versions of Destiny am I getting? Well, my friends, I'm getting both the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game as I want to play with as many of you guys as I can, and I also intend to do a comparison video between both versions. I think a graphical comparison is going to be really interesting. I'll also be arranging community playdates when we finally know the beta launch date, so stay tuned for that. Question 5. What race class faction combo am I going to choose? Well, based on everything I've seen so far, I really like the sound of an Exo Hunter who sides with a Dead Orbit faction. Now, you're probably wondering why this particular combo. Well, the Exo are tireless, self-aware machines, and I just think that sounds fucking awesome. Also, the Hunter has some sick supers. The Arc Blade, a lethal multi-kill melee attack, the Golden Gun, a devastating one-shot kill weapon, and the fact that you can decapitate a fallen captain by throwing your knife at his head. It's also been revealed that the Hunter is great for sniping and sneaking, and this all appeals to my gameplay style. Now, it's worth worth bearing in mind that both your race and faction have no bearing on gameplay. They just determine how your Guardian looks, so choosing either is really down to what you think looks and sounds the coolest. Bungie also reveals that each race has different movement animations, and also when you're in the safety of the tower you'll be able to remove your helmet, and personally I can't wait to see what an Exo looks like without a helmet. And another thing you may not know, you can even customize your Guardian with tattoos. So I thought I'd finish this video by asking you to vote in some polls that I made. First of all, we're going to have a look at each poll, and then I'm going to tell you how you can vote yourself. First up, which is your favourite Guardian class in Destiny? So far there's been a total of 298 votes. The Hunter is in first place with 40%, the Warlock is in second place with 38%, and the Titan is third with 22%. Next up, which FPS are you most looking forward to in 2014? So far there's been a total of 134 votes. Destiny is first with 72%, Halo 5 is second with 21%, and Titanfall is third with 7%. Next up, which faction will you side with in Destiny? So far there's been a total of 235 votes. Dead Orbit has 31%, Seven Seraphs has 25%, New Monarchy has 16%, Osiris has 15%, and Future War Cult has 13%. And finally, which console will you play Destiny on? So far there's been a total of 930 votes. Xbox One has 43%, PS4 has 38%, Xbox 360 has 15%, and the PS3 only has 5%. Now, if you'd like the chance to vote in these polls, I've left a link to each in the description box below. I think it'll be a cool idea to perhaps check these once a month until the launch of the game. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of these Destiny discussion videos from me, give the video a thumbs up. If we can get around 1,000 likes, I'll make this into a weekly series. And also, please feel free to talk about anything Destiny related in the comment section. I read all your comments, and your feedback is always really helpful and lets me know the kinds of things you'd like to know more about. Thanks for watching, you beautiful bastards. And as always, until next time, Guardians.